$2 trillion. That's what Amazon is worth today. It's the everything store. The cloud backbone of the internet. The logistics network that delivers to your door before you even realize you needed the thing. $2 trillion, a circumflex euros, built by a guy who started by packing books into boxes in his garage and driving them to the post office himself. In 1994, Jeff Bezos was a 30-year-old vice president at a Wall Street hedge fund, making mid-six figures, on the fast track to partner. He told his boss he was quitting to sell books on the internet. His boss took him on a 2-hour walk through Central Park and said, "A circumflex euros." And I'm paraphrasing, "A circumflex euros. That's a really good idea for someone who doesn't already have a great job." Jeff Bezos didn't build Amazon by being lucky. He built it by thinking in decades, while everyone else thought in quarters. By choosing to be misunderstood for long periods of time. And by making one bet, a circumflex euros, on the internet, on infrastructure, on customer obsession, a circumflex euros, and never, ever flinching. This is the Forge Files. One founder. One story. The real playbook, a circumflex euros, not the highlight reel. Jeffrey Preston Jorgensen was born on January 12, 1964, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. His biological father was a circus performer, a circumflex euros literally. His mother, Jackie, remarried when Jeff was 4. His stepfather, Miguel Bezos, a Cuban immigrant, adopted him. Jeff took his name. He never looked back. The signs were there early. As a toddler, he took apart his crib with a screwdriver because he wanted a real bed. In high school in Miami, he was valedictorian, National Merit Scholar, and built a solar-powered cooking device for a science project. The kid was wired differently. He went to Princeton. Originally wanted to be a theoretical physicist, then realized he wasn't going to be in the top 50 in the world. So he pivoted, a circumflex euros, electrical engineering and computer science. Graduated summa cum laude in 1986. He went straight to Wall Street. First at Fiddle, a fintech startup. Then Bankers Trust. Then D.E. Shaw, a circumflex euros, one of the most secretive and successful quant hedge funds on the planet. By 30, he was their youngest senior vice president. He was building computer systems to find arbitrage opportunities in the bond market. He was making serious money. D.E. Shaw wasn't just any hedge fund. David Shaw was a former computer science professor at Columbia who believed Wall Street could be automated. Bezos was exactly the kind of mind he wanted, a circumflex euros, quantitative, systematic, obsessive about efficiency. Jeff thrived there. He was on track to make partner. The golden handcuffs were real. Then he saw a number that changed everything. In early 1994, he came across a statistic. Web usage was growing at 2,300% per year. 2,300%. He made a list of 20 products you could sell online. Books were number 1. Huge selection, low price point, universal demand. The idea was simple. The timing was perfect. But leaving D.E. Shaw. That was the hard part. Bezos later described his decision-making process as the regret minimization framework. He asked himself, when I'm 80, will I regret trying this and failing? No. Will I regret never trying? Absolutely. He handed in his resignation. He and his wife, Mackenzie, drove from New York to Seattle. Jeff worked on the business plan from the passenger seat while she drove. They set up shop in a converted garage in Bellevue, Washington. The first desks were repurposed doors on 2x4 legs, a circumflex euros, because doors were cheaper than actual desks. That detail tells you everything about how Bezos thinks about spending. Amazon.com went live on July 16, 1995. Within 30 days, they'd ship books to all 50 states and 45 countries. No advertising. Just word of mouth. In the first month, they were doing $20,000 a week in sales and couldn't keep up. Jeff and Mackenzie were packing orders on their hands and knees in the garage. The tables were so low that their backs ached. One of the early employees suggested they buy knee pads. Bezos looked at him and said, a circumflex euros, we should get packing tables. That's the Bezos brain. He doesn't patch problems. He redesigned systems. His parents, Jackie and Miguel, invested $245,000 into Amazon. Jeff told them there was a 70% chance they'd lose it all. They invested anyway. That early capital, a circumflex euros, along with another $1 million raised from angel investors at around 50 cents a share, a circumflex euros, kept the lights on. Those early angel investors would eventually see returns of over 18 billion%. By 1996, Amazon had revenue of $15.7 million. By 1997, $148 million. Bezos took the company public on May 15, 1997, at $18 a share. The company was valued at $438 million. And it had never made a profit. Not a dime. That 1997 shareholder letter is legendary. Bezos wrote, "It's all about the long term." He said Amazon would prioritize market share over profits, invest aggressively, and make bold bets that wouldn't pay off for years. Wall Street didn't love hearing that. But he sent the same letter every year for 25 years. The man does not waver. Amazon expanded into music, DVDs, electronics, toys, tools, a circumflex euros, everything. They were burning cash at an alarming rate. Analysts started asking the question, will this company ever make money? Barron's ran a cover story calling the company Amazon Bomb. The joke was everywhere. Then the dot-com bubble burst. March 2000 to October 2001. Amazon stock went from $107 to $7. 94%. Gone. Billions in market cap, a circumflex euros, evaporated. Employees were panicking. Investors were furious. Everyone said Bezos was a fraud. But here's the thing about Jeff Bezos, a circumflex euros. He'd raised $772 million in a convertible bond offering just before the crash. He had cash. While competitors like Petscom and Webvan were dying by the dozens, Amazon kept building, kept investing, kept hiring. The crash didn't kill Amazon. It killed Amazon's competition. Q4 2001. Amazon posted its first ever quarterly profit. $5 million on over $1 billion in revenue. It was tiny, but it was real. The stock started climbing, and it never really stopped. Now here's where Bezos does something that separates him from virtually every other CEO on Earth. Around 2003, Amazon realized that the internal infrastructure they'd built, a circumflex euros, the computing, the storage, the databases, a circumflex euros, was a product in itself. Other companies needed this stuff. What if Amazon rented it out? Amazon Web Services launched in 2006. S3 for storage. EC2 for computing. It sounded boring. Nobody outside of tech paid attention. But AWS would become the most profitable division of Amazon, a circumflex euros, generating over $90 billion in annual revenue by 2024 and powering roughly a third of the entire internet. Netflix runs on AWS. NASA runs on Oz. The CIA runs on AWS. In 2005, Amazon launched Prime. $79 a year for free 2-day shipping. The finance team thought Bezos was insane, a circumflex euros. They modeled out the shipping costs, and it was a money pit. Bezos didn't care. He knew that once customers were in the Prime ecosystem, they'd buy more. A lot more. Today, Prime has over 200 million subscribers worldwide. In 2007, the Kindle launched. Bezos, a circumflex euros, the guy who built his fortune selling physical books, a circumflex euros, deliberately created a device to make physical books obsolete. When his team hesitated, he told them, if we don't cannibalize ourselves, someone else will. The Kindle created the entire e-reader market. Bezos ran Amazon with obsessive structural discipline. The two-pizza rule, a circumflex euros. If a team can't be fed by 2 pizzas, it's too big. The 6-page memo, a circumflex euros. No PowerPoints allowed. Every meeting started with everyone silently reading a narrative document. He believed that clear writing forced clear thinking. Most companies run on slides and vibes. Amazon runs on written arguments. And the flywheel. Bezos drew it on a napkin in 2001. Lower prices attract more customers. More customers attract more sellers. More sellers increase selection. More selection improves the customer experience. Better experience brings more customers. Around and around. Every part feeds the next. It's the most elegant business model diagram ever drawn, a circumflex euros, and it's been spinning for 25 years. Behind the scenes, Bezos was building something even more powerful than the website, a circumflex euros, the logistics network. Fulfillment centers. Delivery vans. Sort facilities. Planes. Amazon Air now has over 100 aircraft. They don't just ship packages. They are the shipping. The third-party marketplace was another stroke of genius. Let other businesses sell on Amazon. Take a cut. Now over 60% of everything sold on Amazon comes from third-party sellers. Bezos turned competitors into tenants. He built the mall and charged rent. Echo and Alexa in 2014. Amazon Studios and original content. Whole Foods acquisition for $13.7 billion in 2017. Twitch, Ring, MGM Studios for $8.5 billion. Every move expanded the ecosystem. Every product fed data back into the machine. And then there's Blue Origin, a Circumflex Euros, Bezos' rocket company, founded in 2000, even before SpaceX. He funded it by selling about $1 billion in Amazon stock every year. In July 2021, Bezos flew to space on New Shepard. His childhood dream realized. The kid who loved Star Trek actually left the atmosphere. Let's talk numbers. Amazon employs over 1.5 million people. Revenue in 2024 exceeded $630 billion. AWS alone is bigger than most Fortune 500 companies. Amazon handles roughly 40% of all U.S. e-commerce. 40%. One company. In July 2021, Bezos stepped down as CEO, handing the reins to Andy Jassy. He moved to executive chairman. His net worth at its peak exceeded $200 billion. From door desks in a garage to the second richest human being on the planet. So what do you actually learn from Jeff Bezos? 3 things. Number 1, think in decades. Bezos took 7 years to turn a profit. He launched AWS knowing it wouldn't matter for a decade. He invested in logistics for 15 years before anyone understood why. Every major decision Amazon made was optimized for year 10, not quarter 2. If you're only planning 90 days ahead, you're competing with everyone. If you're planning 10 years ahead, you're competing with almost no one. Number 2, your margin is my opportunity. Bezos said that explicitly. While other companies chased fat margins, Amazon ran on razor-thin profits and plowed everything back into growth. Low prices, fast delivery, better infrastructure. He made it so painful to compete with Amazon that most companies just gave up and sold on Amazon instead. Number 3, be willing to be misunderstood. For years, the media called Bezos a charlatan. Wall Street said Amazon was a house of cards. His own board questioned AWS. The Kindle, Prime. Every major bet was mocked before it worked. Bezos didn't just tolerate being misunderstood a Circumflex Euros, he expected it. He said if you're not being misunderstood, you're not thinking big enough. Jeff Bezos didn't just build a store. He built the infrastructure layer of modern commerce. The cloud layer of the modern internet. And a playbook that says, obsess over customers, think long-term, and never stop building a Circumflex Euros, even when the world tells you to stop. Especially when the world tells you to stop. Next time on the Forge Files, a Circumflex Euros, a fashion student who turned a $5,000 loan into a $100 billion empire. She was selling fax machines door to door, failing miserably, when she cut the feet off a pair of pantyhose and changed an entire industry. That story, a Circumflex Euros, next week. If this story gave you something, a Circumflex Euro, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Drop a comment with the Bezos principle that hit hardest. And share this with someone who's in their garage season right now. This has been the Forge Files. We'll see you next time.